Hi, my name is Damon Dubois. I'm from the I.S.M.A. and this is the I.S.M.A. Spotlight. Today we will be putting the spotlight on two bands, the Distorted Waltz and the Shannon Johnson Trio. Without further ado, the Distorted Waltz.
She writes her poems and then burns them in the fireplace in her home. She stays up late just to write them so she doesn't feel alone. Pour out from her hand. She needs to know she can write them, but she can't quite understand what they tried to tell her, why she even cares. She rips them up and burns them while she cries and waits and stares. Coffee and she pours it down the drain. She wears her dress every day now, and the makeup hides the pain. Every day she spends waiting, what she doesn't know what for. She goes to church every Sunday, so that God will show her more. The house is no longer standing, and her memories long gone. She sat and waited forever while the world slowly moved on. Her words turned into ashes, her ashes turned into her. Just like the poem she had read time never knew their worth.
Thank you. Alright, let's do boat on boiling water. Huh?
Sweaty.
Everything's getting sweaty.
Just wait a while and then you'll see just what a game this life can be. Just wait a day and then you'll see how fast we kill society. This running circus never ends. It's filled with double-crossing friends. And when you run home another land, the darkness grabs thy as a pen. You say your life is empty, but they'll just call you bluff. Still alive and well, that's not enough. That's not enough. So they won't come to your defense. They choose to laugh at your expense. That tunnel stop with you or me. That's all there is now on TV. And when you stop to rest, the burglars overhead. You let me cross that path. They hold me dead. They hold me dead. Unlike the world before us, we haven't crumbled yet. We need to learn from them and not forget. Don't forget.
All right, now last one's Over You. Yeah. All right. Ready?
Don't believe that it's true. Over you, not looking back. But I know that you do. Don't you? to say that's the way I thought it would be. You and me. Something we both regret what we do, don't you? Baby, that's my drink. I play so I don't think. Oh, you. And I found it's not fun to hide when you're hollow inside. Yeah. The years I'll still be here for you. I can't let you go, but I can say that I tried. That's true. And I know you'll be my chain. Oh, dear.
Okay, we're here with the Distorted Waltz. We have Andy Jegler, lead vocalist, guitarist, Matt Hoffman, guitarist, bass guitarist, sorry. Then we have
Connor Peel.
Connor Peel. And then we have another Matt.
Yep.
What's your last name, Matt?
Miller.
Matt Miller. Okay, guys, I guess we're gonna start off with the basics. Where'd you come up with the Distorted Waltz?
Oh, the Distorted Waltz, it was while we were in the studio recording our album, and we had just finished tracking the drums for Special. And our drummer at the time, Cody, he stood up and we're talking about the song, and he's like, it kind of sounds like a distorted waltz. And Andy Reid, who was recording us, he was like, that sounds really cool, distorted waltz. And the original idea was, maybe just like a song title or something like that to keep in our heads, but we're just kind of like, that would be an awesome band name, the Distorted Waltz.
And we couldn't come up with a band name.
Yeah.
Ever.
It's hard coming up with a band name, so you just kind of hear that one thing and it clicks, and you're like, yeah, Distorted Waltz. That kind of describes our music in general. It's a weird mesh of things. We have a very diverse style, I guess. We blend into all of our songs at a time, and that's where the Distorted Waltz came from.
We even had like this inside joke going where we, Andy Reid, the producer, suggested that each of us adopt a moniker of a famous waltz. Like he wanted it to be not like this Distorted Waltz the dance, like Distorted Waltz like the people. So it was gonna be like me being Walt Whitman. You were Walt. Were you Walt Cronkite?
Walter Cronkite.
He was Walter Cronkite, and then our drummer Cody was Walt Disney. So yeah, that was whole bizarre, and that dropped real fast.
Now, how did you guys form the band? How long have you been playing together?
Oh,
Microphone.
well, let's see. I was senior in high school, so I was about 17 when me and Andy first started playing together. And yeah, about 17. Andy would have been 16, 17 at the time. So
Mid-high school careers.
6-7 years now. Well, it's been a while. A few of our songs on the album are stuff we wrote way back then, like Special, Throne of Kings.
We were bad. We were really bad. But we really were just kind of like, we'd go after school and actually set up in a church and just play for like 2 hours and then probably talk about Futurama for like another hour or something, and just kind of learn how to, jam with each other, learn how to read each other. We got really good by the end of it at like, reading where the other musicians wanted to take a song and where we went. And we wrote Throne of Kings, Special, and Truth or Other Lies back then. Those were all like extremely old songs. And we were absolutely horrendous at playing them until we got back together.
About 2 years ago, Andy went to Michigan State. I was going to college, and Cody, who was younger than both of us, was still in high school. So we kind of all went our own separate ways for a few years, and we all kind of took on our own solo projects. I was, writing instrumentals for various projects in the area, and Andy was studying to do recording stuff, and Cody was always writing songs. And so for a while it was just us learning how to be songwriters too.
Independently.
Yeah, independently. And so then, like 2 years ago, Andy was home visiting from college, and we decided, get together and jam.
I remember what caused it too. It was you were doing one of those lame Facebook things where it's like, like post a picture of this, post a picture of that. And there was one you posted. We played one show from when we were in high school, and it was terrible. But he was like, post a picture of like when you were happy or something like that, and he posted a picture of us playing that, and you know, like life was much simpler then and all that crap, and we were like, man, we should really, you know, jam. And yeah, we got back together and we realized that we were much more talented than we were back then, and decided to record for fun. The recordings turned out really good, and we decided to, you know, take it further.
Well, I noticed, speaking of Facebook, I get a lot of invites from you guys. You know, obviously I've seen you guys play live. You guys are playing all over the place. I mean, usually if you're not good, you're not going to be playing all over the place. So I mean, that in itself speaks highly of your band, you know.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Is there anything that you guys can tell me that I can't find on River Nation or Facebook?
Gigging wise?
No, personal.
Personal information. Oh boy.
Or maybe an experience. What's your strangest experience you've had during a show?
During a show? Any of you guys got any thoughts? You guys haven't answered your question
Last
yet.
weekend was pretty strange.
Which was that?
That was in Lansing.
Oh yeah, tell them about it.
Yeah.
Oh, we just, I don't know, we played Andy. Who was it, the guy you went through?
For
Forget
the
that.
for the Lansing show?
Yeah.
That was my friend Brittany.
Okay, well, he got some gig where we were playing on a street. It was basically a street corner in Lansing in Old Town. And he had this set up for a while, so I mean, you don't really know what the weather's going to be like in April when it's, what was it, like March. So we get there and it's about 40 degrees, it's snowing out, there's no tent or anything. I mean, since it's cold, there's no one out there. I mean, there's people that are just kind of walking by, nodding their heads, like, all right. And then, and so we set up, we play for about 2 hours, and it was essentially practice on a concrete slab in Old Town Lansing. And it was cold. I had a Carhartt jacket on drumming. It was kind of hard to play, but it was a fun time though. I can't say I'll ever be able to drum in the snow again, but
Hey, we got on the news.
yeah, we got on the news for 5 seconds. That was, they didn't know who we were. It was just a clip of us just. That's all I got.
Oh,
Can anyone else think of anything?
We were playing the I.S.M.A, I believe, and it was the Silver Derby bar, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember
Lord.
somebody losing their temper at that show.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad show. We had everybody was all set up fine. We got there early, and Andy he was rushing in the blizzard truck, probably driving like 90 miles an hour from his house. He like started setting up everything, trying to figure out why his amp wasn't playing, and like smashing it on the ground, like figuring out.
That was your method for a while. Just smash it till
It worked for a little bit, man.
It worked at the
Yeah.
first show
Yeah.
of the circuit. Actually, I saw him kick it, and it started to work.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta, like tough love, man.
You were curb stomping your amp.
It went down for the count.
But eventually, I mean, it was pretty fun anyway, because we killed like 40 minutes just jamming, and it turned out pretty cool for the most part.
You guys jammed. I just angrily kicked.
He was moshing by himself.
So tell us a little bit about your CD.
Well, our CD, that was recorded just over the course of like almost a year, really. As I said before, like we just decided to, record. We do play all the time. Let's do a recording, and we recorded 2 songs, and they were really cool. And we just decided let's record more and more and more. And usually a band goes in for like a week, and they track and they record and mix and master, and then you get a CD in about a month or so. No, since I was away at school and they were all really busy, we recorded 2 songs at a time for what, 5 sessions? 4 sessions.
Yeah, about 4 sessions.
We had 5 sessions, 4 of them where we recorded 2 songs at a time, and then 1 where we just did 1 song, which is a really fast pace for your average band. But yeah, and we wrote the songs just as we went. Nothing was really organized that well, and luckily we have a graphics designer, a friend of ours, who's very talented, and we managed to put it together. I don't know, it was a lot of fun making it. Andy Reid from Bay City did the recording and mixing and mastering, and he's phenomenal. You know, we couldn't have done it without him. He's really good at what he does. You have anything to say on it?
No. Yeah, well, what I thought the album, it kind of has, to me, a unique sound, because basically we would write these songs and, like, you know, some of them, like we said, we had pulled from when we were younger, 17 in high school, but most of the songs we would write like in a day. You know, we would come up with something, Andy would go off, write the lyrics for it, get a basic structure down. We'd get together the day before the recording session, and we would, you know, hash out 2 songs, you know, get a final structure going, and then, you know, we'd have to be in the studio at 10 in the morning the next day, so we'd get together at about 8 in the morning, make sure we had all our stuff together, and then we just go in the studio and play everything. So in all actuality, it's recorded over a year, but, you know, all the songs and everything was recorded in, you know, less than 2 weeks. Just everything written, recorded, mastered in like 2 weeks' time if you look at it on a day-by-day basis. So it was a very, like, thrown together album. It's very, you know,
Spontaneous.
it's got like a spontaneous sort of, like, kind of a bare bones vibe to it, which is very cool, I think. And yeah.
I bought one of the CDs and I love it, so I mean, it's awesome.
Nice.
Now, you're the main songwriter, then you write all the songs, Andy?
Probably a majority. I write all the lyrics, but a lot of the songs end up being collaborations between me and Hoffman. There's probably like a good quarter of them were like collaborations. He actually has a couple, like 2 songs in the album that were virtually all his besides the lyrics. And actually our drummer Cody wrote 1 song himself and then co-wrote one with me. So it was kind of mixed, but I generally would write all the lyrics and melodies and kind of take the riffs and make a structure out of them. So I kind of glued together all the pieces, you know.
Right. The song Poems, what was your inspiration for that?
We'll see how much my girlfriend likes me talking about this, but I wrote it about my girlfriend, who is a very talented writer. She's always been, I don't know, she's like a speed writer. She can tear through, like, I think she read the last Harry Potter book in like 2 hours, 3 hours. Like, I mean, like, it's like flip, 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 like ridiculous. And she's very talented at writing. So I asked her why. I've never seen anything she's written, really. And she said that every time she writes something, she just rips it up and throws it away when she's done writing it. Because, you know, she's afraid of the judgment and all that stuff. So I thought it was really sad. And I was kind of dwelling on that, you know, and I thought there was, you know, when you got an idea in your head for lyrics and everything, it just kind of dwells in you, you know, and I happened upon the riff, you know, and it just came out like immediately. Like I wrote the song, and the whole song, music and lyrics, in about like 5 minutes. It was like she writes her poems and then burns them in the fireplace in her home, which is an extrapolation. She never burned anything, but I just kind of used poetic license to exaggerate the story of her unrealized potential for her writing. So that was the whole idea behind the song.
Well, it worked.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. It's always, those are the great songs that take like 5 minutes to like write this good song, and you always just feel like you didn't do anything. Like it just like
you were like a medium that channeled the song. Man, there are songs like Out for Blood where I just like spent like about a month just banging my head on a table trying to write lyrics.
So, I mean, obviously, you're also going to college. I mean, how do you handle writer's block? Like when you're writing a song or whether it's,
Well, I'm dealing with that right now.
Stuff or...
Well, we're working on a new album right now. We're recorded with Matt and Connor, our new additions to the band, and it's really cool. But we've got a session coming up in a couple months, and we're working on new songs for that. Kind of still recording it month by month and all that, just like last time. And I have real bad writer's block right now.
So how do you deal with it? I mean, do you go for a walk? Because I know if you like kick a pencil, it's not gonna make it work, or an ink pen or your laptop.
There are certain ways to get around it. I know for like Out for Blood, I just kind of forced myself to write stuff, and 99% of it I just scrap after I wrote it. And I actually wrote that one after the Casey Anthony trials, because everybody was just like trying to kill her, and not to like go on like any kind of like topic about my opinions about the Casey Anthony trial or anything, but I thought it was pretty shocking that, this woman murdered somebody so that everybody's like opinion was like, we should murder her. Like, so I thought that was pretty, just wrong. So in that instance, a current event kind of sparked the inspiration. So a lot of times that has to happen. You have to have something outwardly spark it. But sometimes you just have to stop thinking about it and listen to some music and stop worrying about it, because you become so worried about it, you kind of jinx yourself. And to write a good song and come up with a good idea, you just gotta kind of stop and just relax and let your mind wander and get imaginative. So you just gotta not think you have writer's block.
Now, do you ever get those, like, find yourself in a moment to where you can't stop writing and you're just up all night?
Oh yeah, definitely. But it's strange with that because you can't really decide what you're writing. Like, I don't know if it's like a manic depressive episode or not, but like, yeah, there'll be times where it's just like you crank out like just lyrics and lyrics and lyrics and songs and songs and songs, and then I'll crank them out and like they're fantastic songs, but they're like folk. so we can't really play them. So yeah, I'd really like that to happen with some distorted waltz material, but yeah, it happens sometimes, unexpectedly.
Now I'm gonna go way off topic. Now you guys performed, at a few of the shows for my organization, which is a charitable, organization. I never seen you guys like not show up on time or anything like that. I mean, which is important if you're a musician or a band, obviously. Have you ever been late for a show, like, as far as, like, you talked about, well, I know one of the shows was during a blizzard, and you still showed up. I mean, is there anything that can stop you guys from it?
Not yet.
Not yet, good.
I mean, I live the other side of the state, and I managed to make it in like 2 hours. But I mean, tell them about the band that asked for all our equipment.
They asked for all your equipment.
Tell them.
Was that the Romeo?
Yeah.
Yeah, not Romeo. Wyandotte in the Rockery in Wyandotte.
Okay. I don't really remember it too much.
Somebody tell them about it.
This is the part where we go off topic.
Well, I mean, as far as my end,
it's 420. So, what do you guys think about that? For or against?
I gotta get.
Should we make political statements?
No, without putting politics into it.
Well, it's Record Store Day.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm sure people are going through Cheetos like wildfire.
Probably.
But tell them about the band that just like bummed off us.
Well, I mean, from my end anyway, they wanted to use your bass and your bass amp or something like that, first of all. But then their drummer comes up to me before we're about to play our set, and he goes, hey dude, what's up? Can I use your kit tonight? I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, well, do you have your own cymbals? And he's like, yeah, I got my own cymbals. Someone else's kit and throw my cymbals on.
And note that we, drove like an hour and a half to get there, maybe 2 hours. So
It was a long night. But, so for some reason I agreed. We play our set. I get done, I start unpacking. My friend Alec goes, he goes, hey, aren't you gonna leave that up and let the other drummer play on it? And I just said, why did I do that? And I was yelling in the bar for, hey, has anyone seen the other drummer? And one guy went out, checked back, and he said, I don't see the band anywhere. So I just said, let's just load up our equipment quick and get out of here before they come back. Which they never did come back.
yeah, they bailed on the show because we wouldn't let them use the equipment. But that stuff happens, and it just drives us nuts. And like, we're all really busy. Like I work full time. They go to school and work, and we always show up with. I was like, wow, somebody's shredding on the drums in the other room. But
Yeah, we have Mid-Michigan music next door.
But so we always show up on time, and when somebody tells us a time, we go and try to make that time. Like, and this was a great show with a great band last night. But they said, the gig's going to start at 9, you guys go on at 10. And everything ended up going an hour back. So, I don't know. We've dealt with a lot of crap and like bands asking to bum our equipment and stuff, and it's just not professional. And if you want to do anything or go anywhere, you got to kind of handle yourself like a professional instead of a bunch of dudes that are just going to, I don't know, cover Weezer or something.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like just being responsible in that respect is it's another part of being a good musician. I mean, you can have great chops and be really creative, but I mean, if you can't show up to a gig on time or bring your own equipment or just be, nice to people, be able to work with people, then what good are you? You're not a good musician in that respect.
Because at the bottom line, being in a band is kind of like, it's a business, and in the bars are your clients, and if you're not showing up on time or making commitments that you back off on, why would they ever bring you back?
Yeah, I agree. So, speaking of gigs, you guys have 1 or 2 coming up?
Well, we got one tonight.
I know you have a lot. Yeah, I mean, what do you guys? Can you name them off? All the gigs that you have?
Oh man,
I got a schedule on my phone.
nice.
There we go.
Let's see.
We actually have a Google Calendar that we use to keep track of all our stuff because we try to book like 2 months ahead of time.
All right.
It's very helpful.
Next, we got that show in Pinconning tonight, and then we got 27th, Saturday at Uli's House of Rock. We're playing with Tension Head.
Yeah.
And Desiring Dead Flesh.
And Katsura and another Beneath It All.
Then May 4th, another Saturday. These are pretty much all Saturdays. We're playing at Hamilton Street Pub with Drift Lifted.
Yep.
The 11th, we're playing at the Underground in Sandusky,
Ohio.
That'll be a
Cedar
road
Point
trip.
opening day. Yeah.
Wait.
I think I'm missing a couple on here. Do we have any in between the courthouse and Underground?
We got May 18th. We got one with I.S.M.A.
Yeah, and then
And I mean we're through June, and
Yeah.
I'm about to set one up for July at White's Bar. So we're working we're working our butts off.
yeah, June we're in Kalamazoo on the 1st, and then Battle Creek on 15th.
And it's always kind of like,
Rebels coming up too.
yeah, we got
Yeah, we
Rebels
do
and,
Rebels coming up on
with
14th, June 14th.
Killer Kong and the Ugly Broads. That'll be cool. They fit with us really well.
Yeah, so we're gonna be real busy.
Yeah.
We've been busy for like 3 months straight now. It's like every week.
Oh yeah, I've noticed. I get invites, and it's like, wow, man, I'm overwhelmed with how busy you are. But the Tension Head, Desiring Dead Flesh. I know Brian Hampton, the lead singer. I know all the band members. They're great guys. A little bit of a different style of music, and I'm assuming Tension Head is a heavier, if I remember right.
Kind of like rock metal.
No, they're more like, I'd say almost more like groove metal. It kind of reminded me of Pantera a little bit.
Really? Oh yeah.
They're a
Well,
happier band.
Pantera is not too heavy, is it? That's considered
That's
classic
not,
rock.
not
Pantera's
compared
not
to these
I mean,
days.
Pantera's not getting in like extreme metal territory, but it's still pretty heavy compared to like, you know, Led Zeppelin or Black Sabbath. I mean, Black Sabbath is still a pretty
Hey man,
thick,
Black
heavy
Sabbath
band,
was
but-
the original heavy
Yeah.
man. They'll always be the heaviest in my heart.
Well, is there anything else you guys would like to add, or we got your upcoming gigs? Are you coming out with a new CD soon, or?
Yeah, well, not soon. We're working on one, but due to me, I guess, you know, I've always just got, you know, what do they call it? When somebody's creeping on somebody and they have to like be forcibly like.
Restraining order?
Yeah, it's like I've got like a restraining order on my band. Like I just always have to live like at least an hour and a half away from them. So now I'm living. I'm living like you didn't know where I was gonna go with that, did you? But yeah, I'm living like over 2 hours away from them. So we got to take our time again. So it's kind of like recording successive throughout. It's actually taking longer this time because Andy Reid's getting booked like crazy. His business is taking off. So it's a slow process. But we wanted. Our last album was pretty bare bones, like a really raw feel to it, and we're going to try to embellish it a little bit. So it's going to take more time anyways. So, you know, add instruments and overdub and all that stuff. So.
Well, I look forward to it. I'm sure a lot of other people are going to be looking forward to the release.
I look forward to it too.
Well, thanks for being on the show today, guys.
Thank
did
you.
an excellent
Thank
job.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to introduce the Shannon Johnson trio. We have Shannon Johnson, Eric Johnson, and somebody is missing. Ty, right? Is it?
Ty, yeah.
Okay, yep, he had to work today, right? Okay. Well, let's start off with writer's block.
Yes.
Eric, 300 songs under your belt that you've written?
Something like that, yeah. I don't know how many good ones, but about that many.
That's quite the accomplishment there. I mean, do you ever get writer's block?
Oh, absolutely.
And how do you handle it?
I pray that it stops. Just keep trying, really. Just keep plugging, you know?
But do you have those nights to where you can't sleep, to where you're just constantly writing?
Not writing, staying up, but I've gotten started on a song in the studio and spent all night, and to my wife's consternation, she's woken up and I've still been in the studio the next morning, so.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's happened a few times.
Cool. Okay. Let's see. What about what kind of bands did you guys listen to growing up?
I grew up listening to everything from barbershop to Black Sabbath.
That's quite the
So,
stretch there.
Yeah, I mean, I've always had a wide range of taste in music.
Shannon?
Well, in like high school and stuff, I was the normal teenage girl who liked Britney Spears and NSYNC and all that stuff. And yeah, but then I remember, because I'm a rock and roll girl now, like I like rock and roll music and country and that sort of thing. But I was on the school bus my freshman year of high school, and I know nobody likes them, but the Nickelback, their first release, This Is How You Remind Me. You guys know that, yeah. Anyways, I heard that song on the bus, and I remember like, oh my gosh, I'm converted. I like rock and roll, and I just thought I was this rocker chick then. So I don't know. So I guess mostly your pop stuff, but I did convert one year.
Right on. Now, the last names, is that a coincidence?
Yes, it is. We just met
That's
a
what I
couple
thought.
of weeks ago.
Yeah, he's my dad as well, but you know, we
We
just
really just got to know each other.
Yeah.
No,
So how long have you guys been playing? I mean, individually, obviously, because I think Eric played a few more years longer.
a few more. Yeah.
I started playing guitar when I was 17, and I started writing then. I've been singing since I can remember. But and then we've been playing together pretty much, I guess, since then. But I've gotten up on stage with him because he played before, and I would sing with him and that sort of thing. But the band thing didn't really come into play until about 11 years ago. So.
Now, do you get writer's block?
I've been having and experiencing writer's block for about 11 years now. So
11 years.
it's bad.
What about Dad over there? Doesn't he give you any pointers or what?
Any pointers? Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I'll write songs here and there. I don't. With school and all that kind of stuff makes it so hard for me to like really sit down and nail out a song, and so I'll do bits and pieces of songs. So I've got a ton of verses written and choruses written and that sort of thing, but not a lot of complete songs. So.
But a very beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you.
Both great musicians, I think. So, as far as the inspiration, where do you guys get your inspiration from?
Well, my inspiration just comes from the moment. If that sounds a little obtuse, I mean,
No, not at all.
I don't go searching for it. It just happens, and it's like I'll get an idea, and then so I'm so grateful because then the writer's block is set aside for a while, and something comes out, and that's just that inspiration. It could really come from anything, something on the news, situation at home,
Doing the
family.
dishes, something.
I mean, literally, it could really come anywhere. So just look for that moment and try to grab it.
What about you?
I'd probably say the same, just not so eloquently. He's very
Hey, 2 points for
artsy with his words, but yeah, you had a good word earlier. I don't remember what it was, but just everyday life, and if something cruddy happens or something really good happens, a lot of times one of my first reactions is like, ooh, I can write this about that or something, and so I don't know, that's where the little bits and pieces come into play. But so I write a lot of stuff on the love stuff that kind of comes out easy, but
Love. But now, Eric, you met your wife, if I remember right, at church?
At a church softball game. Mm-hmm.
Church softball game.
Yeah, it was crazy church.
That's
game.
interesting, because you always hear people say you have to go to church, find the ring, and apparently you did.
Yeah. Didn't go there to meet her, but just happened to work out that way.
That's great. Now, Shannon, I notice when you're playing, your focus is, I can tell where a lot of your inspiration comes.
yeah.
I think his name is Chris.
His name is Chris,
And he definitely supports everything you're
He
doing.
does. Very much so.
And we discussed you're going to Nashville, correct?
Yep. In a couple months, we're going.
And what's the goal?
I don't know. Our goal is, we know a few people out there that actively work, at least in Nashville, a lot. And so we'll go down there and meet with them. And my goal is basically just to play music, play my music, play covers. It doesn't really matter. I just want to get my voice heard as much as possible. And so I'm going to be looking for every opportunity that I can to play music.
I definitely think you have a great chance of making it. When do you plan on making the transition from cover songs to originals? I mean, are you working on anything currently, or?
Well, yeah, I made it sound like I don't have many originals, but I do have a decent amount of originals. So we're in the studio. He's a sound engineer, recording engineer, and so we're working on my first release, I guess you can call it that, currently, and it'll be a full length, hopefully, eventually. A full length album. I try and tie in my originals as much as I can when I'm playing shows, but I play a lot of your 3 and 4 hour shows, and I don't have that many originals. I'm not the Beatles or him. So, but yeah. So I try and tie them in as much as I can, and once I have enough to do a full show or even just a full set, you know, I will.
Now, do you plan on ever playing any originals in the area before you take off to Nashville? For example,
What about today?
Yeah, today and tonight. Yep, I will be. Mm-hmm.
Oh, great! That's good news for me.
Yeah.
Now,
I usually play them at least one or two at a show,
It's like
depending on the
pulling
crowd.
teeth,
Yeah.
now, Eric, you were into construction for part of your life,
but
right?
yeah, drywall many years.
That sounds fun. I
Lots
used to
of
move
fun.
furniture. That was fun.
Better than digging a ditch for me. I like
Did you used to dig ditches too?
No. I just know I'd rather do drywall than dig a ditch.
Yeah, I hear you there. Especially in Michigan with the way the weather is. I mean, so I have to ask each of you weirdest experience ever while being at a show.
Gosh.
Of course, you might have the same story. You might have different stories, or
Actually, you asked that earlier, and I just don't know. I mean, I've had a lot of normal experiences at shows. How about you? Have you had anything really strange happen?
Probably the most memorable thing that was kind of a little weird at first, but then kind of cool. There was, I play at a place called Waltz Bar every other week in Saginaw, and there was this guy who walked in with his dog. I think it was a black lab, and they walked in, and the dog instantly like climbed up on it's a lifted up like about this high, maybe a little bit higher stage, and sat down right next to me and laid there next to me for the entire show.
That's pretty cool.
The whole show. It was pretty funny. It was cool.
now I know lots of bands that do covers, and at one of the shows that you were playing for us, I was actually filming you guys, and on the side of me I had somebody come up that apparently was inebriated, and she was saying, I want to hear this and that, and I'm trying to record it, and it's like, but and I mean, do you guys have people approach you while you're playing at bars saying,
Absolutely.
can you play this, can you play this? And
Well, that's probably
I mean, does it get annoying, or is it do you offer the crowd sometimes, like, is there any requests?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
we try to.
Yeah, I would never say that, like it's not annoying or anything like that, because you're playing in a bar, people are drinking.
So it's sort of
I'm sure I would
expected.
do that if I was drunk or something. I don't
Well, she'll
know.
take a break and she'll get the computer out and she'll learn the
Yeah,
song right there and do it that night
If
for
people
folks.
say, I want to hear this, and if I'm at least familiar with it, I'll be able to look it up and learn it up. So we definitely take requests. Been trying to build the set list as much as possible, and so we can at least cover something from everyone's request type thing. So yeah, but
And
it
you-
definitely happens.
Now, you guys have been playing a lot in the Saginaw region, right? And Midland as well, I believe.
City.
Mhm.
And Bay City? And, well, Standish.
Yeah.
That too, but
Yeah, we're branching out and we're getting some shows up in the northern part of the state this summer, and Petoskey, Boyne, and
Illinois.
Travers. Yeah,
Really?
I go home and play in Illinois, but yeah, we're trying to play all over Michigan.
that's the way to do it. I mean, get out there, get exposure.
Mm-hmm.
So, where is the Shannon Johnson Trio gonna be after Shannon goes to Nashville? Is there?
Well, we'll be trying to put shows together and have her come back for that. You gonna say something?
They'll continue to do the regular shows that we have, him and our drummer, and so they'll keep those going as well as possible. And like you said, yeah, he'll try, because it's an expensive ordeal to come home for it, so can't really come home for one show. So yeah, he'll try and maybe do like a Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night show, and financially make it, you know, worth coming home for it. So we'll still do stuff together. We're hoping to get into festivals and stuff like that this summer, so that would be pretty cool. And you know, whenever an opportunity opens in Nashville, they're definitely my first call. So
Now, since Ty isn't here, I guess you guys are going to have to cover and tell us about Ty. I mean, if you have something good or even bad. But can you tell us a little bit about
Ty's
Ty?
an incredible percussionist who's in demand in the area, and we're really glad that he's chosen to be a part of what we're doing.
Yeah, I think you guys are great together. I mean,
You haven't met Ty.
Yeah.
You've met
You
him.
met
Actually,
him.
he's our pinch hitter. That's Henry. Does a
oh, that's
fantastic
Henry.
job.
That's been okay. Then okay.
Yeah, so I thought I'd clarify that. So
Well, thank you, because I thought that was Ty that was coming to the shows with you guys.
So he's doing a good job for us and filling in as Ty's been occupied, but Ty Kaiser is our drummer.
Okay, great. Okay, I already asked you the strangest thing that happened, obviously. You, not so much like anything that sticks out
Well,
for you
the only thing
personally?
I thought of was last week, and we're in the middle of playing a song, and then someone comes up to you in the middle of your song and wants you to play a different song. That's kind of strange, but that's about as weird as it's got for me.
But that does happen quite frequently, right?
That was pretty radical last week.
Was it?
Right in the middle of the song, it was interesting.
you never had anything
Yeah, it
happen
was-
like back with like your old bands when you had long hair and you headbanged?
Yeah, if you've been playing that long, you have to have something.
I know. They were like 90s metal.
I don't know.
90s metal, I know you have something.
Well, I remember going out into the mosh pit during the guitar solo, and these kids were bouncing off me like pinballs, my big old butt out there in the mosh circle. I think I twisted them up quite a bit.
Yeah, I was in a accidental mosh pit. Is there such a thing? I don't know. I went to Woodstock '94, and I really wanted to see Primus, and I had my 110 camera, and I was close to the stage.
Yeah.
A huge Primus fan, and I'm all excited until they started to play, because then it turned into a mosh pit. So, but, you know, so are you guys ready to tear it up?
We're ready, man.
Okay, right on.
Dry lightning cuts across the skies. Those storm clouds gather in her eyes. Daddy was a mean old mister. Mama was an angel in the ground. The weatherman he called for a twister. She prayed to blow it down. There's not enough rain in Oklahoma to wash the seas out of that house. There's not enough rain in Oklahoma to get the nails out of the past. Shatter every window till it's all blown away. Every brick, every board, every slamming door blown away. Until there's nothing left standing, nothing left of yesterday. Every tear so glistening, memory blown away. Blown She heard the sirens screaming out. Daddy lay there passed out on the couch. She locked herself in the cellar, listened to the screaming of the wind. Some people call it taking shelter. She called it sweet revenge. Shatter every window till it's all blown away. Every day.